It is. It's time for Sports Talk. Welcome to Sports Talk here on this cold Monday night in California. Of course, my name is Ed, alongside my partner, Jesus, and partner. Hope you're staying warm on this cold night.
Yeah, partner, another cold night and another day of a Laker game.
Yeah, right now the Lakers are currently playing against the Spurs. We're gonna go ahead and take a peek inside, partner. We're gonna take a sneak peek inside.
Yeah, let's get
All
it.
right, so right now we're looking at some footage here. It looks like Vanderbilt has been tossed from the game. There's been a little bit of an altercation about a couple minutes ago. And looks like Sokan from the Spurs, he's being tossed out. Looks like we got a
Wow.
replay. Looks like we got a replay of what happened here. And, oh, look at that! Sokan
I
just threw
don't
the
think,
ball he threw the ball at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt didn't take exception to that.
I'm not sure if that was worth the toss though, but I think Vanderbilt, when he put his arms, that made both of them leave. That's a tough one though. But
Well,
it's late in the game in which the Lakers are up by 14. It could still be, big.
I want to say that it's over, but you never want to count out, the Lakers. They've always been known to blow big leads. And actually, this is the second of a back to back. They took on the Phoenix Suns yesterday afternoon in LA, and they beat the Suns, and they snapped that losing streak. So, damage not particularly done, but a little bit of a damage done. But right now, they're currently up 14, as you mentioned, under six to go. So. Let's see how the last 6 minutes go. Oh, there's a turnover. We saw that one going on. And you know what happens? Quick layup. And this is a big
Uh,
game because they got a tough one coming up. They got to play Denver and Milwaukee back. The second, like another back to back for them. Um, so it looks like there's 3 games left in this homestand. So they have Denver Wednesday, Milwaukee tomorrow, then Saturday Chicago. Then on Monday they go on the road to Orlando and Indiana. So we're kind of getting near the end of the season here, and seeding is quite important right now, isn't it?
yeah, partner, and I believe yesterday's Laker win versus the Suns was a big must-win game, and I think that's gonna factor in coming into this week. See if they could take this back-to-back game tonight.
Well,
But
if
there's,
they can take care of business tonight, it'll set up for them to kind of like get back up. Meanwhile, we see another miss, another score, so now the lead's down to 12. So it'll get a little antsy right now.
yeah, they even put Luka back in the game, and he was supposed to rest that whole fourth quarter. That's when you knew the game was getting close.
And I'm guessing this is a turnover again, as Hayes will go to the bench. So very interesting scenario here, huh?
Yeah, and the Lakers were up by 25, 26 coming into this fourth
And
quarter, almost
that
30 points.
that, my friends, is a goaltend. So they're gonna give Vincent the points, but that was no doubt a goaltend big time.
Yeah, so after today, they're just gonna give a 1 day rest and go back at it at home versus the Nuggets rematch.
Yeah, it's a big game here. This is one of those games you're supposed to win, and oh wow, he missed it. Look at that one. And let's get you updated right now. There's another game in progress right now. It's a close one. It's up north. It's the Warriors and the Nuggets, who the Lakers are chasing for that second spot. There's a minute 11 left. The Warriors are down 7 to the Nuggets. So those are two teams that the Lakers are kind of concerned. You got Golden State, who's been on a hot streak. You got Denver, who's been on a tear. So
I think if Warriors lose that one and Lakers win, that's big for them, so they could get a comfortable lead in that Western Conference standings.
well, I don't know about that right now. Now the lead's down to 11. Another turnover.
Wow, so many turnovers from the Lakers in this
Yeah,
fourth quarter.
I think the problem with the Lakers, they just have to learn to finish their game. They gotta stay on that gas pedal. For some
Yeah,
reason,
partner.
we've seen this so many times where they're up comfortable and you think it's over, but 5 minutes later, like they make it a game. So like it's hard for them to get wins when they kind of like start playing conservative.
Yeah, partner, because coming into this halftime, Lakers only had 2 turnovers, but looks like they already hit their
They've
10
already doubled that, that's for sure. And then
uh,
and other scores right now, they have a chance. They have an opportunity to move up in the
into the standings.
Well, that and they need to because Houston won today in overtime. So this is a big one for them. And then Minnesota lost to Indiana tonight.
So yeah, this is
So
big. But I think the Lakers got it. So
yeah,
even though it's
also the
down to
also Memphis lost. So that's a big one there too.
yeah, so this win is big. It catches up. The Lakers will catch up by 1 game if they win. But it depends how the Nuggets game outcome as well.
Well, right now the Lakers are currently in fifth right now since yesterday. So we'll pay attention to that. It's still a 13-point game. It's still coming up on 3 minutes, so they're still in good shape. But we did get some news yesterday about the Lakers. JJ Redick mentioned that LeBron James unfortunately is going to be out another week, but some of the other players might make an appearance this week. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
hoping Hachimura comes back for the next game. That would be big.
yeah,
And
they'll need every chance they get. And keep in mind they lost closely last week.
and that was without Luca. So now that they have Luca, if he plays, I think Lakers have a better chance to beat the Nuggets at home.
Well, here's the good news: they just stretched the lead out to 18, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent had a big night with a couple like he knocked out his fourth three.
Guess
There's
Austin
a lot
Reeves
of
wanted.
threes.
I guess Austin Reeves wanted and one. Let's see, no contact made. So they're breaking the timeout right now. So we're gonna come back out here. Um, games on Spectrum. So um, they just went to commercial. They're on timeout. So let's see what we got going on, partner. Shall we talk some baseball?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So here's one of the top stories in baseball. So the baseball season is right around the corner. And the Dodgers are going to take place in a what's a Korea series tomorrow or in a couple of hours.
Yeah, so the season officially starts tomorrow, which is odd, but this first game will be in Japan, Tokyo. The Dodgers will be playing the Chicago Cubs at 3:30 a.m. Pacific time,
So
which I doubt many people will watch.
this would be a regular season matchup.
Yes, this is a regular season matchup.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the scoreboard. They're at a 0-0.
Yeah, then there's gonna be like a 1 or 2 week break for spring training, and MLB season is officially started.
Well, let me ask you, is that a disadvantage for having to start the season that early?
I don't think so. I think it gives them an advantage to get into the rhythm of the game. Then of course they're gonna come back and do a couple training games in which I think will give them a little advantage getting back into the game.
Yeah, they'll
And I
be off.
think
They'll be playing Tuesday, Wednesday, then they'll be off after that for a while as they come back home.
yep. And I think Dodgers might even win it again. They have even a better, stronger team.
Well, they are favored to win. They're favored to win 100 over 100 games this season with the talent that they signed and with the pitching they have. I mean, I don't know. It just depends if they can stay healthy for a 162 game season because that's the challenging part.
Yeah, that is the challenging part. Knowing their rotation from the starter to second, third, fourth, fifth, they're all dangerous. Any team is gonna be having problems against them in a 3 game series or two.
Well, who's got the highest chip on the shoulder right now? Dave Roberts got an extension, so I mean, I think he's on a hot seat to keep his job.
Yeah, then Shohei Ohtani again having surgery over the off season. I think they're thinking about
I
him
believe he's in
pitching.
the lineup too, or is he not?
Yeah, he's gonna be a designated hitter at this point. They
Right.
still thinking about him bringing him back as pitching mid-season, but that's still in the high hopes.
Okay, we're gonna take a pause about the Dodgers here. We're gonna go ahead and take a sneak peek back inside crypto arena. Under a minute and 20 left, and the Lakers look like they're gonna be cruise to their second straight victory. Pardon.
Yeah, this was big after dropping a couple games in a row. Lakers surprisingly defeated the Phoenix Suns last night, which was big. Then coming to this game, this other must-win game, especially after gonna play the Nuggets next game and the Bucks. So I think these are two big W's because that Western Conference standings are coming to the wire.
Well, I mean, you look at the Lakers. they had to win yesterday because it was from what I've seen, it was a nationally televised game, so they had
Yes,
to
it
win
was.
it.
Then right now, as you mentioned, the Warriors are still playing, right, versus the Nuggets. Oh no, the Nuggets actually won tonight, so the Nuggets stay at third place and the Warriors stay at six. So nobody switches spots today. Everybody will
Well, I mean,
stay
it's
the
good news
same.
for the Lakers because they got to get a bit of a ground game if they hold on to win this,
Did
which I
Bronny
think
just
they
score a
will.
three?
Looks like it was a two.
Oh, okay.
So it looks
Okay.
like yeah, it looks like it is going to be. It's safe to say they are going to win. So two straight for the guys in purple. That three went on. So final seconds are going to tick down here. And how about San Antonio? This is a lot of questions mark for them now as far as who's going to come back and who's going to be the coach. I mean, there's still no word on Popovich if he's going to come back next season. But
Yeah,
you got to look at Pop's age though. I mean, like can't go forever.
yeah, especially with this scary health issue, which is highly doubtful we see him back in the league. I think that him as a coach is too much stress for his health at this point of his age.
I mean, look, he's got a Hall of Fame career. He coached a lot of Hall of Famers. He's been the longest tenure in that franchise since '99, or I don't know, maybe longer than that. But I mean, the Spurs have seen him as their only coach. When you think of San Antonio Spurs, that's the only first guy I think of is Pop. And you know they're having a disappointing season. I mean, they're still in rebuilding. But congratulations to the Lakers. They won this game, 125-109. They'll take on Denver Wednesday at the crib, and then they'll have two more games after that at home. So could be an undefeated homestand. Who knows? We'll see. But it's good to see them win though. After losing four straight, now they won two straight. So hopefully they'll
Yeah,
get some
then
guys back.
yeah, that would be important to get a couple guys back and play the Nuggets and Bucks on a back-to-back. Get that revenge from that away games they had.
Yep. So now we're gonna go ahead and go switch gears back to the Dodgers. So pitching for the Dodgers would be Yoshinobu Yamamoto against the Cubs, Shota Imanaga. Game set for 3:10 a.m. on Fox. So I don't know who's gonna be up for that, but I think I'll still be catching some Z's maybe.
Yeah, for sure be asleep. But at least the East Coast people might have a chance to get a glimpse of the game.
I think they're gonna go on TV in a couple of hours over there.
Yeah, it starts at 5, 6 a.m. Eastern time. But I feel like yeah, the Dodgers are about to dominate again this year. Fully healthy, like you mentioned, in a more than 100 games, their squad just got more dangerous. And this first game, Mookie Betts will be out because he's due to illness. So they're gonna play with a couple of guys, switch up the lineup and see how it is. But so far they're looking good.
Yeah, so after this series, this Tokyo series, they'll be off for a week. Then they'll have two games against the Angels
Yep.
on the
At Angel
23rd.
Stadium.
On the 23rd,
You working that day, partner?
no, I have not started that job yet with the Angels. They start soon, but not this week. Um,
Okay, nice, nice.
so so they'll be at Dodger Stadium on the 23rd, and then the next day they go to Anaheim, and then actually they'll go to Anaheim for two. Then on the 27th, the season officially starts on the 27th. They'll take on the Detroit Tigers. Um, it'll be uh it'll be the first of a homestand. They will have a 3 game series to start off the season with the Tigers, and then they'll play let's see, they will play three more, so they'll have a 6 game stand at home to start the year. Then they'll have three against the Braves, and then the first test of the season will be a 6 game road trip. In the second week of April, they'll take trips to Philadelphia and Washington. So I mean, I'm looking at them to at least maybe get 2 out of 3, or maybe sweep some of these series that they're supposed to.
Yeah, I believe so. I think they have that 100 win prediction might come true, and I could see it because the Dodgers are just a superstar team. This reminds me of the Golden State era, but in baseball terms, even better, to be honest.
I mean, this could be, to be honest, this could be the most
The
leading
Avengers.
international game in the history of baseball.
Yeah, and it's two Japanese players who will be pitching and hitting to each other on the first pitch, so that's a big international showdown. And back to the Lakers, I wanted to give a quick final score. So the Lakers 125, Spurs 109. LA wins the second straight at home to improve to 42 and 25 and 27 and 7 record at home. That's the third best record in the NBA after Cleveland and OKC.
And
Yeah.
Coach JJ Redick improves to 36-5 when leading at the half. Austin Reeves 30 points. If we get some footage for post games, we'll share it to you here on Sports Talk.
And
But
here's a
partner,
fun fact.
let me ask you. Let's get you some other Dodger news stories. So, hey partner, I know you go to the stadiums. What's your favorite food at Dodger Stadium besides the Dodger dogs?
Oh, sorry, partner. I haven't been to Dodger Stadium in over 15 years.
What do you remember the last time you ate there?
The Dodger dogs when they were like $5. Now it's probably like 20.
So tell me if you find this yummy. So you know the Philadelphia Phillies, right?
Yes.
So they came up with a new food. Guess what? You want to know what it's called?
What is it called?
It's called a s'mores quesadilla.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So
Oh,
move alongside hot dogs and peanut butters and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if you ever come back, but there's a new food in the stadium now. It's known as a s'more quesadilla. This is gonna be
oh,
this is actually ranked as one of those top new ballpark foods in the league. Like this is like the best thing that the fans are looking forward to.
yeah. I might have to give that a try before I even judge it. That is number one. But I'm seeing
Well,
pictures here and it looks
let's go
pretty
over the
good.
recipe though. Let me tell you what's in it. So it's created by Ramark. It
Hmm.
includes Nutella, mini marshmallows, graham cracker crumbles, a crispy flour tortilla served with a chocolate dipping sauce. That's something you get on your ice cream when you go to Sizzler. Because when I go to Sizzler, I get my ice cream. I get I get those little chocolate chip ones, not chocolate, the little Hershey ones, the Kisses. I think that's what they're called. So I
Yeah.
get that. I get sprinkles, and I top it off with some chocolate syrup. So this is the same, like, I might, like, this is like going to Sizzler. I mean, this is just really, really understanding.
Yeah, partner. We might have to go give it a try.
We're gonna have to start taking some road trips here. Let me give you another one. I'll give you a second example, right, partner?
Yeah.
So the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Francisco Giants have invented a new way to make popcorn.
What was that?
It's called a popcorn bat.
What,
So
what is that made
literally,
out of?
like I guess it's made out of the materials of a bat. It looks like a bat, but inside the bat is popcorn.
Yo, that's a different type of invention there.
Yeah, I mean, I
Oh,
don't know.
you mentioned the Phillies had s'more quesadillas, right?
Yeah.
How about how about Ranch Doritos Chorizo by the Kansas
Mm.
City Royals?
Oh wow, look at that one. You know what? You know something else that come out of Kansas City. You want to know what it's known as?
What is it known?
A slugger dog.
I, is it supposed to be a hot dog just filled
Oh,
with
you
chili
know what?
cheese?
It's the same one. I'm paying off your line. I'm sorry. Let me give you another one though. Man, this food's gonna make me hungry. Here, okay, how about Colorado, the Rockies? Guess
Yeah.
what they call their new invention?
Uh, go for it.
Desert nachos. That's
That's a
right. I
weird one
said
for
desert. I
Colorado.
know it's funny. They're a town in the mountains, but they're
No.
using like Arizona terms. You know.
Yeah. That's a creative, different one.
So, but listen to what this has. This one has this includes a fried flour tortillas tossed in a cinnamon sugar, fresh berries topped with a powdered sugar, a caramel drizzle, served with a side of whipped cream. Am I fantasizing Starbucks here or something?
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar that I heard you repeat. Sugar after sugar after
But let's
sugar.
but here, let me tell you. I know you haven't been to Dodger Stadium. There's a new item available this season. Guess what it's called? It has to do with a hot dog, but they named it differently.
Not sure about that one.
I'll give you a
I've heard
hint.
about
I'll give you a hint. It has to do with Freeman's winning move in Game One of the World Series.
I can't picture it.
It's called a slugger.
A slugger again?
It's called slugger. The slugger
What
will
does
be
that have?
new. You know what? There's no recipe listed on this one because I guess it's still in the works. But for what I could tell you, it looks like it's a large Dodger dog with fries. It looks like there's corn and it looks like there's mixed vegetables in there, and it looks like ranch or white stuff. I can't tell what that is, but
Oh
that
yeah,
thing
I
looks
see it.
like yeah, I can't really tell what that one is.
How
But
about are you seeing the foods right now? How about that peanut butter grilled sandwich?
peanut butter grilled sandwich.
Yeah, and it has something else in it. I can't really tell. I can't find the name of it.
Well, who invented that one?
I believe it's the Dodgers' first time bringing it in the menu this year.
I don't know what that one is, but I'll give you something weird. Have you ever heard of the Jabbarito sandwich?
No, I haven't.
Sounds like a hero character in a Marvel movie. So the Chicago Cubs Jabbarito sandwich includes a roast beef, garlic butter, lettuce, tomato, and garlic alloy tucked between two smashed and fried plantains. What in the
Yeah,
hell does that mean?
yeah, I think I never tried that before. That's the
All
first
right.
time.
Here's let's see. I think there's two more here, partner. Let's see. So the Nationals are releasing a kind of like a burger known as the Jake and Jake's smoked brisket sandwich. So this brisket sandwich, actually, this was actually picked by a player. So Jake Irvin and center field Jacob Young gave the idea to somebody, and apparently they gave the green thumbs up, and they're actually gonna make this available this season.
What? That's a
So
different one.
I'm seeing brisket, looks like pickles, cheddar cheese, and look like red onions or purple onions, like the ones you see at Subway.
Yeah, that one looks okay.
All right, here's the last one, partner. So the Diamondbacks are releasing two new items this season. One is known as a chicken parm sub and filthy mac fries.
Ooh, oh my,
So the
that
chicken
sounds
parm
good.
sub is made of chicken cutlets topped with homemade tomato sauce, provolone pesto, and Parmesan cheese. Kind of like what you put in your pasta.
Oh, I
Um,
love that. I love
and
that
they,
concept.
and it looks like they also come up with something known as the Cajun style crinkle cut fries, smothered in cheddar mac, cheddar cheese, pork belly bacon, cola barbecue sauce. And it looks like this is one of many items. So I mean, um, I think maybe they should have a doctor in the stadium in case they get the runs. If you know what I'm saying.
No, they got plenty of bathrooms in that stadium.
But let me let's see. I saw something here. I'm trying to read here. Let's see. Oh yeah, hey partner, let me ask you a question. How many bad teams does it take to beat the Dodgers?
Well, I can't think of a team.
Simple, none. They all suck.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna
They're too.
I'm gonna say it again. There's no. How many bad teams does it take to beat the Dodgers? None, because they all suck. All right. right, whoever's in charge of our audio, I think I'm gonna have to terminate them, man. That was bad. I think that was bad on their part. Yeah, you're 2 seconds right after I tell the joke, man. Okay, Halloween's not for another 6 months. Okay, I'm definitely following tonight. And it looks like our third guy that's on host, Sean wants to join in. All right, Sean, you're on, man. What's up, bro?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Good evening, sir. How we doing?
I take it you were listening to our menus we were discussing.
I've been sitting here. I'm like, damn it! Stop making me hungry. It's 10 o'clock at night.
It's 10 o'clock at night. Have you had your s'more quesadillas yet?
S'more quesadilla. No, the only dessert thing I've had at a ballpark was the what do they call it? Walk-off waffles that the Angels brought in last year, where it's like they only have like 3 different kinds of waffles, but they had like a s'mores and a caramel and a plain or something like that.
That sounds good.
But it's almost like a waffle sandwich inside of you can either get it like by itself or you can get it, I think, with ice cream in a little, in one of those little mini helmets.
Oh, hell no, man. I spilled some on my shirt last time I went.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't even ask me how that happened. That happened.
Yeah, I think Angels
and it gets a little sticky because of the syrup.
That makes it even worse. I was telling Jesus earlier, man, the quesadilla one makes me feel like, the ice cream that I get when I go to Sizzler for my dessert. Here's one thing I want to know. Who comes up with these ideas? Like, seriously, like culinary students or what?
It's got to be something to do with marketing. Like, I mean, you're talking about the Dodgers creating a slugger dog for Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam. Well, it's just a hot dog. What is so special about it?
It's not about Freddie Freeman. I was just trying to hint the guess at Jesus, but he couldn't figure it out. So that's why I used that to see if he could understand it.
I mean, I get it. You want to be fancy with your food items, but it's just food. Why you gotta make it so friggin' like, I don't know. I
so
don't
creative.
Exactly. Like, why do you just throw a bunch of stuff on there and say, okay, here's a special. We're going to sell it for $30 and take people's money.
Yeah. No refills either.
Yeah, we were talking about the Dodgers as well. Like, how dominant you think they'll be in 2025?
Well, they're on the backs of a World Series championship, one that they can actually call legitimate this time instead of a Mickey Mouse ring, as everybody likes to say from COVID season. They continue to take advantage of the fact that the MLB does not have a salary cap at all. So the Dodgers are, so far this offseason, it's not even the offseason anymore. We're right in the middle of spring training. But I mean, the Dodgers have been. They were definitely the biggest spenders, that's for sure. I mean, you bring in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Oh wait, no, they brought him in last year.
They brought in
Roki Sasaki and Hae-Sung Kim. They're the 2 that they brought in. But they keep bringing in all these international superstars to play on this team. And it's like, yeah, the Dodgers are like the top team in the MLB because they're the Dodgers. But eventually, they're going to falter. Eventually, the Dodgers will falter. And who knows, maybe the other Los Angeles team that's about an hour down the road might actually have a better chance.
I'm hoping
Yeah,
so. We have a young team.
I'm actually waiting for that to happen. I'm actually waiting for the Dodgers to fall down. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if that happened, you know. See what happens with them.
Imagination.
Oh yeah, imagination. Dodgers going down to. Well, gentlemen, let's go. Let's talk about a little history, gentlemen. So 20 years ago, this type of organization belonged to the Yankees. The Yankees were the dominant team in baseball. You know, with all the signings and all the talents. I mean, they were once referred as the evil empire. And no, I'm not talking about the evil empire in the Star Wars movie. So all you Star Wars fanatics, don't even think about trying to make a complaint that we're copyright, all that other. But you talk about the Dodgers, you talk about the past 15 months. And yeah, I'm going to be with you, Sean. They've been busy. They signed like, they got the strongest farm system, like the system they have, like it's just unstoppable. You look at the other 29 teams, and I'm sure they all wonder like, what do we got to do to like compete with this?
Right now, until Roger, wow, I'm thinking of the NFL. Until Rob Manfred, they both start with R. Until Rob Manfred decides he wants to put a salary cap on his teams and put a stop to egregious spending during the offseason, especially for the Dodgers, then there's nothing that any of the other 29 teams can do, because the Dodgers are going to go in and they're going to eat up all the free agents and hot names, and then there's no one left.
You know, a lot of the Angel fans are saying, you know, why not call this the Tokyo Dodgers or something? Because almost a lot of their free agency signings are out of Japan or Korea or overseas. You know, I mean, what would you respond to that type of accusation? I guess I want to say.
Well, you know what? To each their own. The Dodgers are going to be the Dodgers, and they're going to sign who they want to sign because they have the money, and they can just dish out a bunch of money to whoever they want, and now just add on the fact that they're the reigning World Series champions. So now any player who's trying to come to the MLB, it's like, oh, I want to go play for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're the reigning World Series champions. They're one of the older teams in the league. They've been around for a long time. They have plenty of history. But then, I mean, it's all about the Dodgers are all about money. But when it comes to people that want to politicize it in a way and basically say, oh, well, you're turning your team into a Japanese team or a Korean team or somebody from overseas, what does that matter? Baseball's baseball. A team's going to sign players that they want, whether they be from the U.S., Mexico, the D.R., Korea, Japan, wherever it be. You know, it's like, so what? They're just players. It doesn't matter where they're from.
Well, what about, let's talk about this real quick. I'm going to ask this to you, Sean, since you were talking about it right now. Baseball is considered America's pastime. Does this type of signing kind of like eliminate that phrase, or because I
No,
know they say baseball is America's
because
pastime, it's our national pastime, but does this kind of like get in the way of it though, being seen that way?
No. You can't say that just because teams sign a bunch of international free agents that it takes away baseball from being America's pastime. It's still going to be America's pastime. People are still going to sit on their chairs or go to the stadiums and watch these games and have fun for 2 or 3 hours. It's not like what am I trying to say? It's not like the fans. Well, sometimes depending on who the team is, the fans care about who's playing for their team, but then you have fans that are just like, you know what? I'm just I just like this team no matter who's playing for me or for this team. And just to think that some people are saying, oh, all these international players, it's kind of ruining America's pastime. That doesn't matter. Baseball is baseball. And historically, even though it's been named as America's pastime, historically there are still, prior to Japan and Korea, you were still seeing players coming in from Mexico, from the Dominican Republic, from I don't know, Argentina. I don't know. The I don't know how to put it. So we'll say that the South American and
Yes.
the South American and lower North American countries.
Yeah, I believe they're just trying to grow baseball as an international sport, even though it's already an international sport. There's a lot of international MLB players who dominate the league, but like you mentioned, no, it still stays as the same. There's going to be a lot of fans who still go out and support its American sport, like you mentioned, but yeah. Fuck you.
That would just be like, if people want to go that route, then you know what? Go start watching football. If you're going to be that political and say that because of all the international players in baseball that doesn't make it America's pastime, then you know what? Stop watching baseball. Go watch the NFL.
You mean the other football? What do they call it? Football?
Football.
Football.
We call it soccer, you dum-dums.
Football, bro.
People come over and they're like, oh, football? Oh, let's go watch football. And then they get there, it's like, wait a second. This isn't football. Well, what football are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about soccer, huh? What's soccer? We call this soccer. You call it football.
Yeah, it's a soccer or football.
Or in Australia, they call it footy. they don't say football, they just say footy.
It's like calling someone
Jesus. Sound department.
Let's see, we're having a lot of fun here. Again, we want to welcome everyone that watched the Laker game, that just tuned over. This is Sports Talk. We're just having our Dodger talk here. We got the Dodgers coming up in a couple of hours. They're going to kick off their title defense against the Chicago Cubs. Games
Couple of hours. 6 o'clock in the morning. That's
No,
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
Well, it's
Is it 6 o'clock Eastern?
Yes.
no, yeah.
3:30 on Fox.
Oh shit. Well, I'm not waking my ass up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a baseball game.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Well, I know someone that could make you wake up.
Who was that?
When did the Joker come into this?
Oh, you just can't. I think you let him in. So it looks like the Dodgers have announced their roster for this Tokyo series.
And one guy they're going to be missing is Mookie Betts.
How concerned are you guys about Shohei Ohtani's shoulder, knowing that, you think he's ready, like, fully to make full contact?
I'm not concerned at all because after what he did last year, this offseason they're relying on his pitching to see if he could come back. That's still in the high hopes, but we'll see what happens this season.
Well, he's already hit one home run in the Tokyo Dome. He made his triumphant return to Tokyo
Yep.
after we're in 2025 and he came here in 2017. So after 8 years, he makes his triumphant return to Tokyo, and in the exhibition game against the
Tigers.
against the Henshin Tigers, he gets up there and he blasts a home run. So it's I don't think Shohei missed
No.
I don't think Shohei missed Japan all that much. But to worry about his shoulder, I don't think so. He's had almost 5 months to rehab it, and shoulders you can come back from a lot sooner. And yeah, they maybe not early season, but maybe mid-season, and like when teams start to look at that playoff run, especially the Dodgers, then yeah, we may see Shohei start. I mean, he was already throwing bullpen sessions before the end of last year. So will he continue that into this year? Yes. Could we see Shohei make his return to the mound for the first time in a Dodger uniform this season? I think so.
Yeah, I mean it'll be. But let's take a look at the starters or the depth chart for this Tokyo series. So for pitchers for the Dodgers, we have Anthony Banda, Ben Casparias, Jack Dreyer, Luis Garcia, Landon Knack, Roki Sasaki, Tanner Scott, Blake Tranian, Alex Vaisa, Justin Robleski, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's pitching tomorrow, Kirby Yates. And then for catchers, we'll have Austin Barnes and Will Smith. Designated hitter will be, of course, Shohei Ohtani. Infielders will be Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Miguel Rojas. The outfielders will be Michael Conforto, Teoscar Hernandez, James Altman, Andy Pages, and wrapping up the infield and outfielders will be Mookie Bettis, Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, and I believe it's Chris Taylor wrapping up for the Dodgers in this Tokyo series against the Chicago Cubs.
I can't tell if you're being serious with these names.
And gentlemen, the one name that you did not see in there was Clayton Kershaw.
Well, yeah, I'm also surprised that Mookie Betts' name is in there because he didn't play either of the exhibition games, and he was being very gingerly during the team practices because apparently he's been battling some sort of illness. But I guess he's going to be in there.
Yeah, but he's not going to play tomorrow's game or today's. So
and you're saying Kike Hernandez?
Hey, why don't you try reading the names? Hey, what'd you tell me if it's the right name, you know? You try reading that list, man.
He's a fool.
Yeah, well, former Angel Luis Garcia is in there.
Yeah, that's a bunch of...
Anthony Banda. You said Banda. Come on.
Wait, you want to say Panda or Panda as in Panda Express?
Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, CT3 as they call him. Michael Conforto, Teoscar Hernandez, James Altman, Andy. It's not Andy Pages. Jesus and I both know that. It's Andy Pages. Miguel Rojas.
You see how much fun we got here, folks. You know, you see why we like being. That's why we have over 1,000 views already.
And I think you missed Hunter Fiducia as one of the catchers as well.
All right, where's that guy? He's fired.
Who do we got?
You tell him to report to us tomorrow. We're gonna let him go.
Tony Gonsolin is on the 15-day IL with back tightness. Brusdar Graterol.
He's out.
Brusdar Graterol, 60-day with a right shoulder surgery. Michael Grove, 60-day surgery. Eduardo Enriquez, 15-day foot fracture. Ouch. Kyle Hurt, elbow surgery. Clayton Kershaw, he's not on there because of left toe surgery. I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, actually, I need to interrupt you guys here. I just got handed to me right now. It's an update on the NBA standings. I'm gonna start with Jesus on this one. So the latest standings came out with the Lakers win. They moved back up to that 4th seed at 42-25 as a result of tonight's results. Partner, is it too late to make a run at least the second spot, or is there still time for them to at least try to finish on a high note?
I think their goal at this time is to hit the top 4 seed because you get that home advantage. And like I mentioned earlier, the Lakers do lead third best in the NBA for their home record behind Cleveland Cavaliers, who have 50 wins, and OKC Thunder, who have 50 wins as well. So them being in the 4th seed, I think their goal is to stay in that 4th seed and top. Anything above the 4th seed would be good for them.
Well, this is a very convincing win against the Spurs, 125-109.
Yeah, we actually before you came out, we took a peek, and there was an ejection with 2 players. We're still trying to confirm if there'll be any fines or suspensions as a result of the altercation. Both guys received technicals and they were ejected. Also,
I think we see a game suspension if there is a fist thrown, but no fist thrown. Almost a push.
and also for the playing tournament partner, Dallas still hanging on. They've lost 8 of the last 10. What do you think? They in or they out?
I think they have a chance. There's reports that Anthony Davis should be back in less than a week, so we'll see what that could do for them. For
giving us that update tonight. Let's get back to our topic, which is the defending champion Dodgers. What team in the National League you see them giving them a hard time this season?
The only team I think will give them a challenge for the money this season would be the New York Mets, who leveled up their game as well. Besides that, I can't picture nobody from the top of my head.
Well, when you're spending $800 million in a 12-year contract for Juan Soto, you better be damn ready to face whoever, including the Dodgers.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna give you some teams that might give the Dodgers trouble. I'm gonna start in the West. I'm gonna say the San Diego Padres might give them trouble. We've seen them always give the Dodgers trouble. Even 2-3 years ago, when we all started pairing up and started doing our projects with LBCC, I believe, Sean, I think that was the first game you and I caught together for the Vikings. It was the same day that the Dodgers got swept by the Padres, and the Dodgers had won 100 games in that series, in that season.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, that was 2-3 years ago. They didn't have Ohtani. They didn't have Yamamoto.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they
didn't have Mookie Betts. They did have Mookie Betts, but
the Dodgers didn't. When did they have their 100 wins season? Was that 2022 or 23?
22 or 23. I'm actually getting that information right now by our stat sheet. I have it right here. So it looks like in 2023 they won 100 games, and that was the series where they took on the Padres, and they actually they got swept by the Padres, I believe, in that series.
They're California rivals, the San Diego. Well, the Dodgers have 2 rivals in California, and you got the Giants up north, and you have the Padres down south. The Dodgers are kind of that middleman, but they're closer to San Diego than they are to San Francisco.
Actually, I want to say it was 23 or 22. It was a year that Vince Scully passed away that they got swept in the playoffs.
2022 was when we lost Vince Scully.
Yeah, that they went 111-51. So that was a year that they got knocked out of the first round by the Padres. And I'm gonna go back to my partner's response. I mean, look, even if they had Shohei Ohtani, they didn't have Shohei Ohtani. San Diego always for some reason gives them a run for their money. So I'm saying that's one team that will give them trouble. Another team that
the Padres last season, they did it again. They clinched their spot in the wild card with a game-ending triple play against the Dodgers. And it was in Los Angeles. The Padres just, when they're decent, when they're playing decent ball, when they play their rivals, they can give them a run for their money.
Well, not just the Padres, Sean. I think the whole National League West gives the Dodgers trouble because
except for the Colorado Rockies.
Well, yeah, except them. but the National League West is always competitive, no matter what record is. You know, they play hard against each other. All their games are almost as close. You often don't see like blowout wins in that division because they all know each other very well. So look at teams. So I'm looking at teams as San Diego. I'm looking at maybe Arizona and possibly the Giants, San Francisco, to give them trouble this year.
Well, at least the National League West is truly a Western conference. When you look at the other side of things, at the American League West, you've got two teams from Texas in our conference with the Astros and the Rangers. And you want to tell me how two teams from Texas are in a Western division when they could be in the American League Central?
Yeah, how does that work? You think that could change in the future, or no? It'll stay like that forever?
I doubt it, unless you have an expansion.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the other divisions. You look at the American League Central. All these teams are all on the East Coast. Same thing with the East. So it's hard to put Texas in the East because Texas is kind of like considered a West Coast because they're just 2 hours behind us. I mean, yeah, I know the Cowboys are in the East, but that's kind of different for some reason. But you look at the AL West, I mean, the only teams that dominated that division has been the Astros. There hasn't been any other teams that won.
You mean the cheaters?
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, you haven't seen any other teams win that division besides them. If it's not them, it's probably someone by a fluke. I mean, let's go back to the 2023 season. The Rangers and Astros, they finished on top of the division, but they gave it to the Astros because they had a better record in that division than Texas. That's maybe the only season someone else probably would have won it, but then let's go back the year before that, the 2022 season, the year after the COVID pandemic. I mean, the other team that's improved in that division besides Astros is the Seattle Mariners. They had a decent year. They even had a decent year last year. I believe they made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. I mean, think about it. The Seattle Mariners. I don't know about. Did I say Seahawks?
No, you got Mariners.
Okay, yeah, the Mariners. You look at the Mariners over the past 3-4 years. They had a winning record, and they've taken the next step.
Yeah, the Mariners, they're one of those teams that are like coming up to like the final stages of a rebuild, essentially.
Yeah, the last time the Mariners were in the playoffs, it was when Ichiro Suzuki was on the team.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to say the first season that the Mariners made it back to the playoffs was the first year they had Julio Rodriguez.
Exactly. They rebuilt it. Whatever building repackage they did, it's been a success for them.
Well, we'll just
now you look at
the American League West. Teams. Honestly, I see it this year that the moves that have been made in the American League West, I see it as one of the more competitive divisions this season. Do I see the Angels trying to do something this year finally after 11 years? Possibly. But let's not get our hopes up. October baseball, when it comes to the Angels, the last time we had October baseball was 2 years ago when after the lockout and the season got pushed back a couple weeks. So then you had the end of the season in early October. That was the last time the Angels played a baseball game in October, but it didn't matter. But October baseball.
I went to a game after COVID, after they reopened everything. I did go on a late September game. It was against the Mariners and the Angels when I got to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what it boils down to now for the Angels is, yeah, they have some power bats.
Young, hungry.
They have some power bats. And they have
talking about all that food that Jesus, because I could hear him in the background saying he's hungry.
What you munching on?
I said the Angels are a young, hungry team, and I think we have a high possibility. But like you said, never bring your hopes up against the Angels.
Well, considering that considering that the MLB on Fox, their projected ranking showed the Angels farm system in dead last. The reason the Angels farm system is dead last is because they've been shopping around their farm system the past 4 or 5 years. They've been getting rid of what was a good farm system, and they're getting rid of these young kids.
I agree, because it's either that or we bring them up too early in their careers to the major leagues.
Yeah, back in 2022, it was either 22 or 23, or it could have even been 2021, where the Angels, all 25 of their draft picks were all pitchers. They were all pitchers. They didn't draft a single utility player, only pitchers that year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Talk about drafting pitchers. It's kind of like picking 5 pickers in your fantasy football draft.
What the hell?
Oh, Lord.
No, but I agree on that. Hopefully we see a great season. And I'll see you guys at the game for sure.
Well, I mean, we had our orientation last Wednesday, so I got myself, I'm scheduled for the first 2 months. So but other than 2 games in April that I can't make, I've got the other, 16 games in May, 7 games that I can do in April. So I've got 23 games so far out of the 82, or out of the 81, I'm already scheduled for. And that number will keep growing as we go further and further, and then they can schedule me more and more. So
nice. Will you be doing any spring training games next week?
I will be there on Tuesday.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I'll be there on Tuesday. I was gonna do both games, but Monday night I find out whether or not I was elected to the board of directors as a member at large for the Orange County High School baseball umpires that I also am a proud member of.
That's what I'm talking about, Sean.
I put through a campaign statement, and I put my name in the running for an at-large board member position, campaigning for change because, put it lightly, we have a bunch of old farts that are high school umpires that, as much as they want to retire, if they retire, then our association dwindles down to like nothing because we don't have a lot of younger guys. So if I can try and get younger guys that, maybe some varsity high school players that can't continue on, but they want to still contribute to the game, come be an umpire with Orange County.
Sounds good, man. If you want my vote, I got you.
Well, unfortunately, it's not a community vote. It's a membership vote within the association. Unfortunately.
Oh, no worries.
So what do you gotta do to be a member? You gotta Magdalene some.
What the hell? No, you pay a yearly due, and that includes all your coverage and whatnot with insurance.
So you pay a monthly or yearly. You start Magdalene some.
Now that we have a soundboard, we can curse, or you can curse.
Fuck yeah.
Well, let's just say that we love.
We don't have that soundboard that we had in the office at the college.
By the way, I've been wanting to go in there to check out the new setup. I haven't had a chance. We were
going to finally have everything set up, if it's all done.
I thought you said it was already done, partner.
Yeah, I was there last Thursday. Everything's already done.
Both rooms are set up in there?
Yeah.
Well, look at that. And if we ever wanted to do video, we would just have to find an audio video engineer.
Yeah.
What was the point of setting up? Aren't they supposed to take everything down at the end of the term?
No.
Not this year, but I think it's next year.
Next year.
So they're not going back to LAC until next year.
I think so.
I've seen the building. It looks pretty snazzy. You know,
It-
like the LAC,
It is.
the G
It
building.
is coming. It is coming along quite nice. The
Good.
new theater, performing arts, and television building is coming along quite nicely. And I know I myself would want to take a look in there when it's done, but we don't have that. We don't have that leisure.
I believe
Well, I would say it's
we
about
can.
time, man, because us sportcasters don't get enough respect. You know.
We really don't.
Yeah,
When you think about it, we really don't.
we need a change.
We don't get the sportscasters don't get the respect we deserve.
You know what? I just realized something. I don't know who gave me these sound effect keys, but I'm pretty sure that person's really regretting it right now. He's probably sitting in the audio room saying, "Man, why did I give this guy access?" You know.
And the crowd goes wild because Mike Trout just hit a grand slam.
Wait, but it was rule foul interference.
God damn it.
Sports Talk is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Knowing the MLB, that would probably happen too.
It happened in my 2K game. I even yelled out like, "What the?"
Baseball fans, do not reach over and interfere with a ball in play.
Unless it's a Houston Astros player.
Well, even then, you're still
No,
benefiting the Astros because they're getting the benefit of the call.
Actually, no, I meant to say when they catch the ball, just turn it over and they throw it back on the field. That was pretty cool. By the way, partner, you said...
Weren't we supposed to talk about the Lakers?
Well, the game's already over. We already talked about that. But speaking of the Lakers, partner, you said something about Luka Doncic. What did he say?
No, well, just Luka Doncic already talked about it.
The way that Ed's saying it, he's getting you to say it.
Luka Doncic?
Well, Ed's saying Donick.
No, it's Luka Doncic.
Oh, it was a Donic.
No, it's not, partner. It's Doncic.
I mean, call him whoever you want. He's still a GOAT.
Yeah. Well, he's doing great. He's still doing great without LeBron. I think when LeBron's back, I think
would
the
you
Lakers
say
are
that
gonna have
Luka?
a championship run.
Would you say that Luka Doncic? See, these international. Okay, it's the international names that you can get really messed up on.
Yeah, Doncic.
Would you say that Luka Doncic could be the next LeBron James?
Yes.
Yes, I think he already is.
He stepped up a lot in his absence with the points that he's been scoring. He's led the scoring in 4 or 5 games since he's been out.
Not just that, partner. A lot of people say he might be a little bit taller, the same size like LeBron, so that gives him the factor.
Well, LeBron hasn't really had a chance to play with like all-star players. Like most of the players he played with are pretty much past their prime, except with the exception of Anthony Davis. I mean, he's played with other all-stars before, but they were like already near the end of their careers though. So he hasn't really had enough help in LA since winning that title a couple years ago. But I mean, I think if they can finish in that top spot, they don't have to worry about playing that extra round. All they gotta do is just wait for their opponent and then start kicking ass in the playoffs. Because think about it, the last 3 years this team's made the playoffs, they've had to go through the play-in tournament. And it takes a toll on you the deeper you go. And remember, was it 2 years ago they made a run at the conference finals? They got swept. Why? Because they were already exhausted. Because they had to play an extra round. Denver didn't.
Yeah, so they don't want that again. They need that top 4 seed at least to get that home advantage. And
yeah, home court advantage. Yeah, top four get home court in the first round.
Side note. Here's our official PG-13 warning. This is one of our offshoot episodes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
PG-13 warning.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we'll put a disclaimer when we finish this episode tonight.
This is Sports Talk Unfiltered tonight.
Uncensored.
Gotta love it.
That too.
We need some of that.
Just remember that with PG-13, we're allowed to drop 3 F-bombs.
I think we passed the limit already. I think.
No, didn't you mute yourself, or didn't you hit the beeper?
Oh, I'm looking at my guy right now. I think we did it twice. No, I've hit he's hit the button 5 times, but it was for different language though. I think he's actually keeping track of the F-bombs we use.
I know I haven't said it. I've kept myself in track today. I haven't said it yet.
Yeah, you get the next time we see you in person, you probably will say it in person.
Well, the next time we see each other in person, hopefully it's before our graduation. June 5th, it comes up quick.
Yeah.
Wow, both of you guys?
Yeah. I actually got my degree already, but I'm still gonna participate.
Well, yeah, because you only get to walk once a year, and that's in the spring. And honestly, I was having issues where like I put my application through in December towards the end of last semester, and I haven't heard back from them as to the status on like, oh, will I get to walk? Will I get my stuff? So I went back and talked with my counselor, and he's like, oh yeah, don't worry. You're kind of towards the bottom of the list because they take care of the UC and Cal State transfers first and get them squared away with their schools, and then they'll move up to you where you fall into that category of just wanting to get the degree versus transferring and continuing on in your education. So that's understandable.
Well, here's the thing. When I graduated,
and if we haven't said it already, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. It's funny. I forgot about that today. I forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day. I don't really pay attention to those themes anymore nowadays.
I know I'm wearing my green. I bought a shirt for $7 at Walmart yesterday that says, what does it say? It says, "Who needs luck when you have charm?"
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll borrow the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't give a rat's. Thanks for the delay, by the way.
That was a little late.
I'll say it again. I don't give a rat's that you're wearing green.
You thump your Bible and oh crap! I can't even quote him correctly. That was yesterday.
Yeah. You sit there, you thump your Bible, you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16.
I just whooped your ass.
Man, it's funny, like,
National Stone Cold Steve Austin Day yesterday.
I used to get in trouble a lot in school for, like, mimicking Stone Cold Steve Austin, I used to get in trouble for giving the finger. I used to give the finger a lot.
Warning. The following program contains individuals that are risking their lives. Do not try this at home.
I had a question. Are you guys keeping up with March Madness by any time?
March Madness?
Yeah, March Madness.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm actually rooting for UCLA.
They're in it?
Yeah, they're in. They made the show. They're in the South, I think.
The only thing I have seen when it comes to March Madness was during the play-in, and it was Michigan State, and I forget who else, but apparently towards the end of the game, there should have been. I don't even know what the circumstances were, but there was this clip where I guess a Michigan State player goes up for a shot and gets hit as he's going up, and ball goes straight up in the air instead of towards the net, and there was no call. But then you watch the replay, and the defender, when he brings his hand down, he makes contact with the ball. He never actually made contact with the chest or the head area of the Michigan State player. So, and you could see the Michigan State player kind of try to sell it, and he like threw his head back like, oh, kind of thing. So bad call in real time, good call watching the replay. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see it?
No, I don't recall that one, but it kind of reminds me of like the 20 years ago or 30 years ago. They had the Fat Five in Michigan. I think Chris Webber was one of them. Grant Hill was the other one, and I can't remember the other three that was on there, but I think they were trying to go for the win. I think Chris Webber was the one that had the ball. He actually shot it up. He got the rebound. He was being triple teamed, but then he didn't realize that he didn't have timeouts. So the next thing he does, he calls a timeout, and then the referee gives him a technical foul because, you don't have any timeouts. You can't call it. If you do, it's a technical foul. So even the announcer was like, he's calling timeout, but you don't have timeouts. That's a technical foul. Like, basically, he just cost the team the game.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, think about how the hard. I think that was the Final Four. Like, man, think about the hardest way to lose.
And you talk about March Madness and how it's coming up and it's starting already. Just think, 5 years ago, the world turned to poop. I'll keep it kid friendly. The world turned to poop with.
I'll give you a hand, Sean. The world turned to.
There you go. COVID rocked our world, and as of it all started on March 11th, and then by March 13th, you basically had everything was just see you bye. The play-in tournaments in this area, in the Western region, the play-in tournaments were supposed to be held at the Honda Center, and they all ended up getting canceled for obvious reasons. The very first case in the NBA belonged to
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was Oklahoma.
It was a player from the Utah Jazz.
Well, there was that game, and then
Actually, you know what?
Why am I blanking on his name? He's the guy that, like...
I remember that night, Sean. I came home from work because I was working in LA, so I took the train and I drove home.
Right.
When I got home, I took off my suit, put my clothes on, like my comfy clothes on, and then I turned into ESPN. And the first thing I see was breaking news. It said, and it was during the basketball game. I think it was the Mavericks, and I can't remember who the other team was. The Timberwolves, I think it was. And it said breaking news: NBA to suspend season after tonight's game because of, at the time they called it the coronavirus.
Yeah,
that was COVID-19 until later on. But I think they showed Mark Cuban getting the Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the arena was getting like
and it was
alert. And
it was on the Scott Van Pelt show.
Yeah, he actually cut in, and while he was talking to, I guess, one of the doctor analysts.
He was he was talking with Adrian Wojnarowski,
the insider. But the thing too is when you were talking, like, that game was still in progress.
Mm-hmm. You had 15,000, 16,000 people inside the American Airlines Center the night before a huge pandemic breaks out, and then the next day, the Utah Jazz are in full quarantine in Oklahoma City because the team is testing positive for this new virus.
Yeah, it was one of the players that was kind of mimicking it, and then he turns out the one to get the coronavirus.
Why am I blanking on his name? Because he's the one. Who was it?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, that's right. Because he's the one, during the presser, he was supposedly already sick, and he gets up at this presser and he starts touching everything. Touches the table, touches the microphone, walks off. It's like, oh, I don't care. This is just another cold. Boom. Next day. COVID.
Yeah, I was like, what a stupid.
Oh my Lord.
But the hard thing about this one was when the 4 o'clock games ended, and then they were getting ready for the 7:30 games. All the 7:30 games got canceled because of this.
Well, originally the Golden State Warriors had announced that they were going to limit their capacity to 1,000 people at each game, but then the NBA, when everything started getting worse, NBA is like, no, we're done here.
Yeah, I believe because of that positive coronavirus testing in Oklahoma City, I think that's when the NBA decided to just cancel the night games.
You know what that reminded me of at first? It's like, you ever seen the, stupid question, but you ever seen the original Space Jam
Yep.
Yeah, with Michael
with
Jordan.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah,
That the initial reaction gave off that vibe from Space Jam, where all these players from the '90s are like, no, something's going on, we're not playing, and then they show the Forum getting totally freaking quarantined all the way around, tarps and everything, and the NBA commissioner's like, everything's under control. This is just situational. Like, literally, that's the exact same thing. It was literally quite the exact same thing.
I do want to tell our viewers this week. We are going to have a special segment episode of Sports Talk, and we're going to talk about what happened 5 years ago, because I know a lot of us had different experiences having to deal with this.
I'd love to talk about that.
I kind of really don't want to get into it more tonight because I kind of want to save it for our special.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what day we'll do it this week. We're thinking of maybe Thursday or Friday this week. We'll have a special segment or a special episode. We'll dedicate the whole episode and we'll talk about our experiences, because again, that was a big event in the world 5 years ago, because we remember that was happening. And then I'm probably going to say this again this week, but I remember the ride home from work. The first lockdown happened. They say you stay home a couple of days, and then it just turned into a whole global pandemic. I mean, sports got paused, businesses got affected. I mean, we're going to talk about that on Thursday or this week. So just want to encourage our fans to tune in this week. We're going to air a special on it because
Sports Talk special edition, 5 years later, COVID-19.
Yeah, it's a special segment you guys don't want to miss. If you guys want to come in and call us here and give us your take on what's been like the last 5 years, or if you remember 5 years, because again, a lot of people died during this time. And
any personal experiences, like, did you ever get COVID? Was that ever a thing that affected you? Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, and it looks like our producer is actually giving me the wrap-up sign right now, so we're going to go and wrap up here. So I know the Lakers won tonight, but I'm going to want to focus on the Dodgers because they're coming out in a couple of hours. What are your final thoughts, gentlemen? What do you expect to see in this first game?
Well, I'm just going to say that – oh, go ahead, Jesus.
You go ahead.
I'm just going to say good luck to both teams. Dodgers, Cubs. Dodgers get the nod. Second year in a row to play the opening series in a foreign country. Last year it's in South Korea. This year they get to go back to Japan. You never know what could happen. The baseballs that they use in Japan are a little smaller, but then again, I think they only use those for the exhibition games. I think they're actually going to use MLB balls tomorrow and Wednesday for those two games. But even though it's technically considered the opening series, the official start of the season is not until March 26th. It's not until next Thursday. So, yes, technically the stats from these two games will count because they are the first two games of the series for both teams. But in essence, the season doesn't start till next Thursday. But yeah, so I think we're wrapping up spring training and baseball season's right around the corner. We got a week and a half before so it's Monday. Yeah, we got a week and a half until baseball's back, boys. So here we go.
Indeed, Jesus, you got the floor. What's your thoughts on the game coming up?
I think it's going to be a good start to the season. Like you mentioned, it's opening day, but not till the 26th, the main day. But it's going to be a low-scoring game.
great pitchers on the mound. Both Japanese from Japan are playing in Japan, and I think it's going to be a good game, and Dodgers are going to take the victory with a Ohtani walk-off home run.
Well, I do want to wish our boys in blue good luck on a successful season, a successful title defense, and we hope that we can see another championship banner raised, and can't wait to see the banner raised when the Dodgers come back home in a couple weeks. But we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Again, we want to thank everyone that joined us tonight. Sean, thanks for joining us late. I know you got on a while late, but thanks for coming. You made it fun for us.
Always a pleasure.
And partner,
Another day,
thanks for go ahead and wrap up our famous line.
another day, another podcast. You guys have a good night.
Just a reminder, we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll have a Lakers post game after the game against Denver, and then also this week we'll also have our special COVID-19 5 years later. Guys don't want to miss that one. That was gonna be a great one. So for Jesus, Sean the Man Quinn, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning into Sports Talk. Again, congratulations to the Lakers. They win tonight, and look forward to Wednesday. And we'll see you guys this week on Sports Talk. Have a good night.